Indonesia is, a remarkable collection of islands. It is a vast archipelago, scattered like jewels across the equator. For thousands of years, these islands have been a crossroads for humanity. People from all corners of the globe have sailed here, drawn by the promise of incredible riches. The islands were famous for their spices. Cloves, nutmeg, and pepper grew here in abundance. These spices were honestly worth more than gold in far-off lands. This immense natural wealth turned the archipelago into a bustling hub of international trade. It was a place where cultures, ideas, and goods met and mingled in vibrant port cities. Long before modern ships, brave sailors navigated these waters, arriving in magnificent vessels, their sails full of wind. They came from China, India, the Arabian Peninsula, and later from Europe, all seeking the fragrant spices that were the treasures of the East. But trade requires a medium of exchange. Bartering goods is one way, but something more convenient was needed, something small, durable, and universally valued. This need paved the way for the introduction of currency. And in this tropical paradise, silver became one of the most important metals for making coins, a silent witness to centuries of history. The story of Indonesian coinage is as rich and complex as its history. It is a tale told in small metallic objects. Each coin is a tiny time capsule, carrying the marks of powerful kingdoms and forgotten empires. These coins show the influence of distant traders and powerful colonizers. The designs etched onto their surfaces speak of ancient beliefs, royal power, and economic ambition. Following the journey of these silver coins is like following the currents of history themselves. We can see how this nation of islands was shaped by both internal forces and the great tides of global commerce that washed upon its shores. Imagine, just for a moment, standing in a busy port market 1,000 years ago, the air thick with the scent of spices and the sound of a dozen different languages. In the hands of merchants, you'd see a dazzling array of coins. Some would be simple, locally made pieces of silver, while others would be intricate coins from distant lands, brought here by traders. This melting pot of currencies reflects the archipelago's role as a global connector. The journey of Indonesian silver coins begins here, in these vibrant centers of exchange, where the world came to trade and left its metallic footprint behind for us to discover. The very first forms of currency in the Indonesian archipelago were, honestly, not always coins as we know them today. For a long time, people used other objects of value, things like beautiful beads, precious metals, and even certain types of textiles served as money. But as trade became more sophisticated, a more standardized form of currency was required. The earliest true coins arrived with foreign traders. Indian merchants, who had a long history of using currency, brought with them the concept of coinage. These first coins were probably not made in Indonesia, but they planted an important seed. They showed local rulers the power and convenience of a minted currency. Inspired by these foreign examples, local kingdoms began to produce their own coins around the 8th century. The earliest known examples are often called piloncito coins or sandalwood flower coins. These were not flat, round discs. Instead, they were small, bead-like lumps of gold and silver, often stamped with a single simple character or symbol. The symbol was usually a letter from a Sanskrit-based script, often representing a deity or a syllable. These early coins were quite small, some weighing less than a gram. Their creation marked a monumental step in the economic history of the region. It was the beginning of a local monetary system. The production of these early silver coins was a fascinating process. Silversmiths would melt the metal and drop small amounts onto a surface, creating the characteristic lumpy, bean-like shape. While the silver was still soft, it was stamped with a die. This die carried the simple inscription that gave the coin its authority. The value of the coin was determined purely by its weight and the purity of the silver. These were not coins with a face value assigned by a king. They were, in essence, standardized weights of precious metal, which made trade simpler and more efficient than bartering. These primitive but beautiful silver pieces were used primarily in the powerful maritime kingdoms of Java and Sumatra. They facilitated trade within the kingdoms and with visiting merchants. Finding these tiny coins today is a thrilling experience for archaeologists. They are often discovered in the ruins of ancient markets and port settlements. Each tiny piece of stamped silver is a direct link to the earliest days of commerce in the archipelago. It speaks of a time when the islands were first forging their own economic identity, moving from barter to a sophisticated system of currency that would evolve for centuries to come. The great maritime empires of Srivijaya and Majapahit dominated the region for centuries. Srivijaya, based in Sumatra, controlled the vital Strait of Malacca from the 7th to the 13th century. It was a thalassocracy, an empire of the sea. Its wealth came from controlling trade routes and taxing the ships that passed through its waters. While Srivijaya used gold and silver coins, many of them were based on the sandalwood flower design. These coins helped to oil the wheels of a vast trading network that stretched from China to the Middle East. The empire's power was built on its ability to manage this flow of goods and money. Later, the Majapahit Empire, centered in East Java, rose to become one of the most powerful empires in the history of Southeast Asia. From the late 13th to the early 16th century, its influence was felt across the entire archipelago. The Majapahit rulers developed a more sophisticated monetary system. They produced their own silver coins, known as ma coins, short for masa. These coins were often thin and irregularly shaped, stamped with a simple character in Nagari script. They were produced in large quantities and became the standard currency in the vast territories under Majapahit's control, a testament to the empire's economic and political strength. The use of these silver coins transformed the economy of the Majapahit Empire. They were used for everything from paying taxes to the royal court to buying goods in the local markets. Inscriptions from the period describe a complex system of markets, with officials appointed to oversee them. The circulation of these coins allowed for a more dynamic and centralized economy. It enabled the empire to fund its massive military campaigns and to build the magnificent temples and palaces for which it is renowned. The silver ma coin was the lifeblood of this golden age, a humble object that powered a great civilization. The legacy of these kingdom coins is profound. They represent a period of incredible indigenous power and cultural achievement. Unlike later colonial coins, these pieces were a pure expression of the local culture. Their simple designs, based on local scripts and symbols, connect us directly to these powerful ancient kingdoms. When we hold a Majapahit silver coin, we are holding a tangible piece of Indonesia's pre-colonial glory. It's a reminder of a time when the archipelago's destiny was firmly in its own hands, long before the first European ships appeared on the horizon. The Indonesian archipelago was never, an isolated place. For centuries, it was a magnetic center for traders from across the known world. Chinese, Indian, and Arab merchants were frequent visitors to its thriving ports. They came not only with goods to trade, but also with their own currencies. As a result, a fascinating mix of foreign coins circulated alongside the local ones. Chinese cash coins, with their distinctive square holes, became particularly common. They were made of bronze or brass, but their presence influenced the local monetary landscape. People grew accustomed to using coins from different origins in their daily transactions. Indian traders from various kingdoms also brought their own silver and gold coins. These coins often featured intricate designs, including depictions of deities and rulers. Their high quality and artistry set a new standard. Local rulers in Indonesia saw these coins and were inspired. They began to incorporate more complex designs and symbols into their own coinage. This was not just about imitation. It was about projecting power and sophistication. A well-made coin with a clear royal symbol was a powerful statement of a king's authority and wealth, recognized by both his subjects and foreign visitors. Arab and Persian traders, who dominated the maritime spice trade for a long period, introduced their own silver dirhams and gold dinars. With the spread of Islam throughout the archipelago from the 13th century onwards, these coins became even more influential. Local Islamic sultanates began to mint their own coins, but they adopted the Arabic script. The coins were often inscribed with the name of the sultan, religious phrases from the Quran, and the date of minting. This marked a significant cultural shift, as the coins began to reflect the new religious identity of many of the island's kingdoms. This constant flow of foreign coins and ideas created a uniquely diverse monetary environment. In a single market, one might find local Javanese silver coins, Chinese cash coins, Indian fanams, and Arabic dirhams, all being used side by side. This required merchants to be skilled money changers, constantly calculating the relative values of different currencies based on their weight and metal content. This period highlights Indonesia's role as a global melting pot. The silver coins from this era are not just economic tools, they are artifacts of cultural exchange, each one telling a story of connection and interaction between different civilizations. The arrival of Europeans at the beginning of the 16th century marked a dramatic turning point in Indonesian history. The Portuguese were the first to arrive, but it was the Dutch who would have the most lasting impact. In 1602, the Dutch East India Company, or VOC, Verenigde Oost-Indische Compagnie, was founded. This was no ordinary trading company. It was a massive enterprise with its own army, navy, and honestly, even the power to mint its own coins. The VOC's primary goal was to monopolize the lucrative spice trade, and to do that, it needed to control the region's economy. The VOC introduced its own silver coins to the archipelago. Initially, they brought European coins, such as the famous Dutch silver ducaton, a large, heavy coin that quickly became popular in Asian trade. However, to streamline their operations, the VOC soon began to mint specific coins for use in their Asian territories. These coins were often similar in size and weight to familiar European denominations, but were stamped with the distinctive VOC monogram. This simple logo, a V, with an O and C intertwined, became a powerful symbol of Dutch economic dominance across the islands. The introduction of VOC currency had a profound effect. The company systematically tried to push out other foreign and local currencies to establish its own monetary control. They set fixed exchange rates that favored their own coins, making it difficult for local merchants and rulers to compete. The VOC minted silver ducatons, guilders, and smaller stivers, creating a standardized currency system that was imposed across their trading posts. This was more than just an economic strategy, it was a tool of colonization. Controlling the money supply was a crucial step in controlling the people and their resources. The silver coins of the VOC era tell a story of conflict and conquest. While they brought a certain level of uniformity to the currency system, they also represented the erosion of local sovereignty. The intricate designs of the old kingdoms were replaced by the stark, corporate logo of a foreign trading company. These coins were minted in the Netherlands and shipped halfway around the world to fuel a colonial enterprise. They are relics of a time when the spice-rich islands were being drawn into a global economic system, often by force, with their destiny being decided in boardrooms thousands of miles away. After the VOC went bankrupt at the end of the 18th century, its territories were taken over by the Dutch government. This marked the beginning of the formal colony known as the Dutch East Indies. The government continued the VOC's policy of creating a single, unified currency for the entire archipelago. This was a massive undertaking, given the vastness of the territory and the diversity of local economies. The goal was to fully integrate the Indonesian economy with that of the Netherlands and to make administration easier. The new currency was based on the Dutch guilder, also known as the gulden. The Dutch colonial administration began minting a new series of silver coins specifically for the East Indies. These coins were produced in large quantities and were designed to be durable and uniform. The larger silver coins, such as the 2.5 gulden, 1 gulden, and half gulden, often featured the portrait of the reigning Dutch monarch on one side. The other side typically had inscriptions in both Dutch and local scripts, such as Javanese and Arabic. This was a practical measure to ensure the coins were accepted by the local population, but it was also a symbolic act, stamping the authority of the Dutch crown over local traditions. This period saw the near-complete disappearance of the Old Kingdom coins and other foreign currencies from circulation. The Dutch colonial government enforced the use of its currency for all official transactions, including taxes and payments to government workers. This forced people across the archipelago, from remote villages to bustling cities, to adopt the new money. While this created a more stable and predictable economic environment, it also severed the last remaining links to the pre-colonial monetary systems. The economy of the islands was now fully tied to the Netherlands. The silver coins of the Dutch East Indies are perhaps the most common historical coins found in Indonesia today. They were minted for over a century, right up until the Second World War. For generations of Indonesians, these were the coins of everyday life. They are artifacts that represent the peak of colonial power, a time of immense economic extraction and profound social change. Each silver golden, with the face of a Dutch king or queen, is a silent reminder of a long and complex colonial history that shaped the nation in countless ways. Beyond the official currencies of kingdoms and colonizers, the history of Indonesian coinage is filled with fascinating and unusual pieces. These coins tell stories that are not found in official records. One of the most intriguing examples is the magic coin, or gobog wayang. These were large, amulet-like charms, often made of bronze but sometimes silver, that were produced in Java. They were not official currency but were believed to possess supernatural powers. Their designs were inspired by the world of wayang, the traditional Javanese shadow puppetry, featuring detailed images of epic heroes, gods, and demons. These amulets were treasured as heirlooms and were thought to bring good fortune, protect the owner from harm, or even grant spiritual powers. Some legends say that holding one could make a person invisible or protect them from weapons. While they had no official monetary value, their spiritual value was immense. The creation of these magic coins shows how the concept of coinage was deeply integrated into the local culture and belief systems. It was not just about economics, it was also about spirituality. The coins became a medium for art, myth, and magic, reflecting the rich, imaginative world of the Javanese people. Another unique chapter in this story involves the currencies of the various smaller sultanates, especially outside of Java. On islands like Sumatra and Sulawesi, local rulers continued to mint their own unique coins well into the colonial period. The Sultanate of Goa in Sulawesi, for instance, produced gold and silver coins known as jin and kupang. These coins often had simple, abstract designs or were stamped with the Sultan's name in Arabic script. They represent a fierce spirit of independence and a refusal to be completely absorbed by the dominant colonial economic system. These unusual coins and coin-like objects add wonderful color and depth to the history of Indonesian money. They remind us that history is not just a straightforward story of empires and economies. It is also a story of local beliefs, artistic expression, and resistance. The legends surrounding magic coins and the continued production of local currencies by defiant sultans show the resilience of indigenous culture. They reveal a world where a piece of silver could be much more than just money. It could be a shield, a story, or a symbol of identity in a rapidly changing world. The 20th century brought immense upheaval. The Japanese occupation during World War II shattered Dutch colonial rule forever. During the war, the Japanese issued their own currency, rendering the old Dutch guilders worthless. This was followed by the Indonesian National Revolution, a 4-year struggle for independence. During this chaotic period, various revolutionary groups and the fledgling Indonesian government issued their own makeshift currencies, often printed on simple paper. These were known as Orai, or Uyang Republik Indonesia, They were a powerful symbol of the fight for freedom. After Indonesia officially secured its independence in 1949, the new nation faced the enormous task of building a unified country and a stable economy. A key part of this was creating a national currency. The rupiah was established as the official currency of Indonesia. The name rupiah itself is derived from the Indian word rupiah, which means silver, a clear link to the region's long history of using silver coins. The first rupiah coins and banknotes were issued, replacing all the various currencies that were still in circulation. This was a hugely important step in forging a new national identity. The early silver coins of the Republic of Indonesia were powerful symbols of this newfound sovereignty. They no longer featured foreign monarchs or corporate logos. Instead, their design celebrated Indonesian culture and identity. The coins might feature national heroes, native flora and fauna, or traditional cultural motifs like the Garuda, the mythical bird that is the national emblem. For the first time in centuries, the images on the coins reflected the people who used them. Each coin was a small declaration of independence, a piece of the new nation that people could hold in their hands. Over the decades, the composition of Indonesian coins has changed. Due to the rising price of silver, modern circulating coins are now made from more affordable metals, like aluminum, nickel, and brass. Silver is now reserved for special commemorative coins, issued to mark important national events or anniversaries. These modern silver coins are not intended for everyday use in the market. They are collector's items and a way of honoring the nation's history. They continue the long tradition of using precious metal to signify importance, linking the modern republic back to the ancient silver coins of the First Kingdoms. The journey of Indonesian silver coins is a mirror of the nation's past. It is a story that begins with tiny, bead-like pieces of silver in ancient kingdoms and unfolds through centuries of trade, conquest, and revolution. Each coin, whether it is a Majapahit Ma, a Vauci Ducaton, or a Dutch East Indies Gulden, is a tangible artifact of its time. It carries the imprint of the society that created it and the economic forces that governed it. Together, they form a metallic tapestry that tells the rich and often turbulent story of the Indonesian archipelago. Today, these historical coins are highly sought after by collectors, both in Indonesia and around the world. Numismatics, the study and collection of coins, offers a unique window into history. Collectors are not just accumulating old objects, they are preserving pieces of a shared heritage. A collection of Indonesian coins can illustrate the rise and fall of empires, the shifting tides of trade, the impact of colonization, and the birth of a nation. Each coin has a story to tell about the hands it passed through and the world it inhabited. It is a hobby that connects the present to the distant past. The value of these coins is determined by several factors. Rarity is, of course, very important. A coin from a small, short-lived sultanate might be much rarer than a common Dutch colonial coin. The condition of the coin is also crucial. A well-preserved piece with clear details is more valuable than one that is heavily worn. The metal content, particularly for gold and silver coins, also plays a role. But beyond the monetary value, there is a historical value. These coins are primary sources, direct evidence of the past, which makes them priceless to historians and enthusiasts alike. Ultimately, the silver coins of Indonesia have an enduring legacy because they represent the archipelago's unique position in world history. They are a testament to its role as a global crossroads, a place where cultures met and mingled for millennia. They speak of incredible wealth derived from nature, of powerful indigenous civilizations, of the dramatic impact of global commerce, and of the unyielding spirit of a people striving for independence. To study these silver coins is to appreciate the incredible journey of the Indonesian nation, a story of resilience and identity, etched forever in metal.